Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here on ESGNet, and this is Madden 18, the Dallas Cowboys franchise, and this is episode 50 as we're going to talk about the Pro Bowl and the upcoming Super Bowl game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So last time we had the conference game there, we had a great game, and now we're getting ready for the Pro Bowl and of course the upcoming Super Bowl game here coming up with the Steelers. So we'll talk about that here later on. Kind of matching up. I was gonna have another episode of this the Highland Cowboys Insider, or Dallas Cowboys Insider. There, I think I said Highland. My bad. Anyway, you guys know what I meant. I was gonna have a Cowboys Insider there, but I decided to go ahead and mash that up with this episode. So we can go to the next episode, which will be episode 51 for Super Bowl 53. So we'll have that coming up here very shortly, and then of course have the wrap up of that, and of course wrap up the series of this one as we take a look here at the Pro Bowl lineup here. And of course the Pro Bowl used to be played, I don't know if it still is, but it was played after the Super Bowl, but I think now it's played back before the Super Bowl. Either way, we got a couple of few Cowboys going there. Dez Bryant, Jason Witten, Tyron Smith, Greg Robinson, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, Byron Bell Hayes, DeMarcus Lawrence, Bryon Jones, and Dan Bailey, and of course Prescott, Mr. Dak Prescott, all going to the Pro Bowl. So congratulations to those guys there. Just take a look at the numbers, or the guys on the lineup there for the NFC. And of course the AFC, they got some guys there too, and well deserved for these guys playing this year the way they've been playing, having a great season. So the Super Bowl is going to be put upon us here, and of course last time these two teams, precisely these two teams here, the Steelers and the Cowboys, I believe it was 1970. What was it? 70. I want to say 73 for some reason. That seems like to be a number that that sounds about right. But yeah, so about during the time when the Cowboys or the Steelers had the so-called Iron Curtain, the best, the most tough defense out there, and one of the defenses that just had their act together. They were shutting down teams left and right. Yeah, I want to say it was the 70s last time these two teams went head to head for a Super Bowl title. Just take a look at there. Some of the numbers as we go ahead and look here. It's just the Pro Bowl guys there. I got some Eric Whittle there for the AFC. Got some guys there playing for the Pro Bowl. And of course, they won't be in the actual game there. They'll have some backups in there. And of course, in this one, you don't get a play in the Pro Bowl, which is something I think Madden needs to bring back. That was something I think was really great. Did a great job. I mean, it was just a lot of fun playing as both of those teams, or playing as the AFC or NFC, playing in the Pro Bowl games. They were a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing them. I always played them, but now they just make it where you're just not playable. And I guess in real life, they kind of mirrored real life or whatever, because nobody really paid attention to the Pro Bowl. But take a look here at your news for the league so far here, and of course a lot of the story and a lot of the talk is about the Cowboys and Steelers going at it on the big stage here for Super Bowl 53, which I believe it will be. It should be in Atlanta here at the new stadium there for the Falcons there. But there you see the early start there, and of course, like I said, these two teams are classic. Actually, I'm gonna look it up here. When was the last time? I'm trying to think here. When was the last time these Cowboys versus Steelers in the Super Bowl? I want to see. I sure already know this already because I looked it up earlier before, but I can't remember exactly when it was. Okay, they say Super Bowl 13. That sounds about right. Let's look and see here. Yeah, okay. Okay, so take a look at the Cowboys here while I'm looking at this. Cowboys, great year. The only game that we had that got us was the that we lost to was the Jaguars game, and then after that we just went on a roll. And then of course we had a hiccup there, towards the last 3 games there. Seahawks in week 15, 35-30, and then the Eagles in that very close game there, 13-3, which is pretty reasonable and pretty, I guess understandable there in that one. Oh, okay, so 1979, December 21st, 1979 was the last time the Cowboys and Steelers went at it for the Super Bowl. Steelers won it 35-31. Of course, Chuck Noll, the head coach of the Steelers, going against Tom Landry, the legend there in Texas, going head to head. And I believe that Super Bowl was played. Where was that played at? The Orange Bowl there in Florida. So Terry Bradshaw was the player, the MVP of that game there. So, but yeah, that looks like it was the last time. I'm gonna make sure and look and see. Make sure and see that was the time that they played. Yeah, so 1996 was the last time those two played. It was Super Bowl 30. Looks like that rivalry. It looks like the Cowboys had the better of the 3. The better of the rivalry, all-time rivals, just by 2 games, 17 to 15 there overall in all time. So, okay, whatever. Just try to look up some history there for you guys. But take a look at ours right there. The postseason, we had the Falcons there, 51-31 was a really good game, and then the Seahawks, which we just dominated there in the second half. 55-21 there, just too much for Russell Wilson. As just like that last game that we had to give it them, that previous game that we had with them, just could not slam the door shut and could not fight back. The defense was just too strong for them, and the Cowboys D able to score on them, not just once, not just twice, but I believe 3 times, taking the ball back for a pick 6 or a fumble recovery and getting 6 on the board. So tough day there for Seattle, but we were able to move on. Now we're going to face the Steelers. Now the Steelers, on the other hand here, they lost in week 2 against the Falcons. Then they won 4 straight before tying up with the Buccaneers in week 8. And then it looks like they they lost to the Jaguars, both of us lost to the Jaguars this season. They lost to them 34-17, and then won 2 straight against the Ravens and the Broncos at Mile High, and then lost to the Chiefs there 38-36, but got revenge on the Chiefs there in the playoffs, which we'll see here in a bit. Broncos beat the Browns 42-7, then lost to the Chargers. Yeah, lost to the Chargers 35-49 at next week on Monday Night Football. Week 15, 59-10 against the Ravens in Baltimore. And then in week 16, 31-34 against the Raiders. Lost that one, and then lost again to the Bengals. Wow. That final week in the season there against the Bengals, 31-28. So a tough road for them towards the end there, but was be able to survive to get into the playoffs. Of course, we've gotten this far here. They had to do a lot to help their team out there, which, like I said, they went back and they had to play against the Chiefs. I believe was the first game for them. If I'm not mistaken, I think they came in as a wild card. If not, they won the division. I want to say they won the division. Not for sure here. We'll get to the next. I think we have that on the screen here in just a bit. But yeah, Steelers, they had a rough road there and really did a great job of getting to where they're at this point so far here. So nice to see a team like that, and especially losing 2 straight there. Especially against the Bengals, I know the Steelers and Bengals is a rivalry game nonetheless, and they're gonna go at it. And there you see wild card game, they won 48-30 against the Chiefs, then won against the Broncos, got revenge on the Broncos too, 52-13 in Mile High, and then went again to on the road again to Foxborough and won 49-35 against Tom Brady and the Patriots. Wow. Okay, so I'm convinced that this might be a really good game between us and them in this one. If they can especially going to Foxborough and beat them, even though it was only by a possession, but still going in and beat them and be a road team at all that, wild card team at that, to go in there and do what they did. Now they did win the division 9-6-1, and so they are the divisional leaders there. But they had, of course, play in the wild card because I think really probably because that tie they had really hurt them and didn't put them in a good position. But we'll take a look here and see. The Bengals there 9-7. Ravens 6-10, and the Browns, of course, they're in last place 2-4 there in the NFC North. So dominant team in the NFC North as usual, but had that one tie. But really looks like by the sounds of it, really fought back there. Even though they lost 2 straight going into the playoffs, they fought back, and they fought back hard. Take a look at their home record. They're 4-4 at home. On the road, I can't really tell here. 5-2 on the road. Take a look at some overtime wins. They got 1. Of course, they got 1 overtime loss, or 1 outdoor tie there. Of course, like I said, ties. I don't understand why they have ties in the NFL. I can understand soccer and hockey, but not in football. Come on. I think a lot of you guys agree with me on that. As for us, what's going on here. We already talked about it already. Jaguars are the only team that put a bump in our road, but for the most part here, we had some really good competitive games here, where it came down to possession. And we were able to, turn the ball over right when we needed to. More say, I wish we could turn the ball. We, got those opportunities earlier in the game and not wait until the, fourth quarter to, do some damage. But there you see our record there, 15-1, and pretty much only 1 road loss this season coming from Jacksonville. They're in Jacksonville. Where we lost that game. So a tough break there, but to say the least here, it was a fun season. And now, everything matters now because, getting this far and then turn around losing the very last game of the season is tough. So gotta keep playing. We gotta play better football here. Of course, that being said, we gotta make sure that Prescott is passing the ball very, very well. He cannot be throwing it picks or interceptions or anything like that. No interceptions from him. He has to maintain the ball, keep the ball in his possession, and just manage just be the manager of the game. Manage the game. That's his job as a QB, and just keep them on the right track there. Blitzing, we got to make sure we can protect the quarterback, and not to mention Dak's just got to do a better job of reading the blitz and seeing where the blitz is coming from. There you see the Steelers, our game plan for offense there. We're in short passes here. We're not going to go deep. They got some threats there on the secondary, which we'll talk about here later on. William Gay and a couple other players there that they can do some damage to. Ryan Shazier is another one that can, if they can read the quarterback, good. If they read us well and able to intercept the ball, that is going to be a tough day for us. So throwing short passes there and just getting our tight ends and our backs, get them involved in their screen passes and all that kind of stuff early in the game. That can open up to more trying to throw deep and just try to really confuse them. Running game, of course, always going to be a main priority for us, as we got to get Zeke ready and going. Hopefully he's going to run right out of the gate there and make some big plays there for us. Defensively, we need to stop the ISO run, so we got to stop the inside run. Stop Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell has been a beast and just a monster in these playoffs here, and just kind of try to contain him and keep him quiet is probably one of the biggest tasks of the day. So just keeping him and contained, and really trying to get Ben off, try to get him throw at least 40 times in the game. Apply some pressure on him. I think if we can do that and shut down the running game, we have it. We've done that many times before this season, and I think we can do it again. Just one more time, fellas. We got to do it one more time here, and we can go home with the Lombardi Trophy again and be back-to-back champions of this for this organization. And we'll see if that'll be the case here coming up here. So that's the game plan right there. For us, defensively, we just need to, like I said, put Ben in check, keep Le'Veon Bell, just make sure he is contained. For their defense, I think for them to, for us, it's just avoid the passing. Avoid doing too many deep passes and just stay with the short game there. Because if we start with a short game, I think that's going to just really open up for some big gains there for us. The Le'Veon Bell, the man right now, the hour right there for the Steelers there, 5-year veteran here from Michigan State. And look at those numbers right there. Just a great runner, a bruiser runner. He's gonna hurt anybody that comes in front of him, and he's just gonna make sure that he's gonna be dominant on the field there. And so far, by the looks of it, look at his numbers there for this postseason. I mean, he did a good number on a lot of teams, a lot of defensive teams like the Steelers, like the Broncos and the Chiefs. So our defense is good. It's not as good as theirs, but push comes to shove, I mean, he could be a real thorn on our side here in the game. That could be really the difference maker for them winning or losing. Antonio Brown, of course, always a deep threat there, and keep a close eye on him. 8-year guy from Central Michigan. Just make sure we just keep him in check. There you see great route running there. I really try to think that's what I think Pittsburgh may end up doing. They're going to go to him early. And if they do and they're successful, I mean, that right there, I mean, what else can we do? I mean, we could double coverage him, whatever we can, but I mean, if they go get him throw to him early and throw to him often, that's going to be really a tough thing for us. And then turn around going to Le'Veon Bell and putting the run on us. I mean, that's going to really stretch us out and really wear us down there. So, but that we'll have to find out and see here coming up in this game here against the Steelers. But Antonio Brown, this year, 99 catches for 1,528 yards and 15 touchdowns there for him this season. Le'Veon Bell, he had close to 300 carries, 1,591 yards, 16 touchdowns, 40 receptions, 555 yards receiving, and 7 passing touchdowns. Big Ben, 14-year man from Miami University of Ohio. Passer rating of over 105, 4,797 yards, 41 touchdowns and 10 interceptions this season. So he has been just on cue there. 35 sacks. He's completed 64% of his completed passes this season. So he's been really on top here. I think, they win this. I think if they win the Super Bowl here, I think this might be his year. So I think that's why he's making a big push. His numbers just looks too good right now. And of course, Martavis Bryant and Juju Smith-Schuster are another threat there on offense. Defensively, Ryan Shazier this season, 151 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, an interception, and a sack from him this season. Kind of quiet, but he has been a ball hawk around there. As you see, 151 tackles there. So he's been right there for the ball. He's a veteran there. He's the general of the the defense there. He is definitely going to I really say it's going to be a matchup between him and Prescott when it comes to the throwing game there. I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to really keep his eye on Prescott and jump routes and just make our lives a living hell, especially up the middle there, which we like to throw to. I know talking to the coaching staff there, they say they're going to try to change some stuff up. Like I said, they're going to be throwing a lot of short passes there. So occasionally, like I said, we're going to try to throw deep, but for the most part, they're getting those small, short passes to try to get those big gains. It's going to be really a thing, and especially like screens and stuff. Bud Dupree, let's see, 90 tackles, a tackle for loss, 4 sacks, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery from him. And that's pretty much his season this year. He's third-year guy from Kentucky. Definitely can hit an opponent if he wants to. Take a look at his speed. Great speed there for an outside linebacker. Not to mention hit power there. Block shedding, not the greatest, but it's getting up there. But he is definitely one of those superstar players that can really change a game with his presence there on the field. That linebacking core they have there is just going to be, especially with him and Ryan Shazier, who we just talked about. And then finally, Sean Davis there, threat there in the secondary, who can be, if you remember in the Pittsburgh series that we had here in Madden 17, he was a dominant guy there, just batting balls away, occasionally getting interceptions and taking them back. He's always one of those threats there deep in the backfield there when facing him. So just definitely be a guy that we're gonna have to watch for and see the matchup between him and Dez Bryant there. That's gonna be something. Not to mention you got Cameron Hayward, Student to Wit, Javon Hargrove, who are all up on the front line on the defensive line there, and then TJ Watt, another linebacker there. Sometimes he plays on the edges there, who could be a threat for us. And then Joe Hayden out in the secondary also too, who can be a big threat there on the defensive side of the ball there to us. So like I said, just showing the roster there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not too many big changes there with some of the players there, but yeah, just like I said, it's gonna be a tough game. I really don't see it as being a high scoring game. I really don't see too much pulling away, but it's probably gonna come down to whoever has possession. Especially with the way the Steelers have been playing, especially close to like they did with the Patriots. It's going to be a very fun game. I would say all defensively in this case. So there's going to be, maybe I would probably say it's going to come down to a field goal at some point. But hopefully we're the team on the other end of the stick there that will get a chance to hold up that trophy right there. So big game coming up. Yeah, the game of the year. It's the Super Bowl, and we'll see what we can do there as we take our 15-1 record, and we'll see what we can do now against the Pittsburgh Steelers there, who are 9-6-1 in that game. So that is it for this episode. of the Dallas Cowboys franchise here, episode 50. That was your preview of the Super Bowl. And we'll see you guys in the next episode, which we'll play in the Super Bowl against the Steelers. We'll see who's going to bring home the trophy. Will it go to the Steel City, or will it go to Big D? We'll find out coming up. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel by hitting that sub button there. Be a part of the ESGN Nation. Also, follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord for the latest news and events on what's going on the channel and what is going on in the world of sports gaming in general. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.